Show me the car when you turn me on, the way you tell me you want me down. Done it, I done this before you fall. I won't catch you, don't know I'm stalling, cause you love to have them all crying. Calling me sweet, telling me you need me, but I'm from a city that's high school. I give them this anymore, I go. Cause you a bad man, she don't love money. She break hearts real fast like conman. Wanna swim down to the deep end, wanna know all my secrets, honestly. Can you keep it real, cause honestly I can tell that you're real fond of me. Baby, don't be shy, I can see it in your eyes. I've been running around, too bad I've been sticking on your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Too bad I've been sticking on your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Take it, baby, baby, I ain't scared to take it. Oh, and maybe when I take it, oh, I feel it coming down too strong. Cause I want ya, and it's hard to resist, cause I need ya. And it's hard, baby, yeah, cause I believe ya. Hold me tight, holding on tonight. Holding a couple, get to you clean and proper. Way I move, ain't no weekend lover. You gon' have me on your mind forever, ever. Thanks, baby, turn it down, make it sweet and ready. Go slow, keep it nice and steady. Know that you've been keeping patience. Too bad I've been sticking on your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Too bad I've been sticking on your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Show me the car when you turn me on, the way you tell me you want me down.
Show me how you jigger.
Pick it up, why you tryna find the pieces when you lick it up? Why I like it when you say it when you take it off? Yeah, you know that I'm bad. Too bad I've been sticking on your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night? Too bad I've been sticking on your mind. I know you like it how I rock it from behind. I know you stand it how you taking all my time. Left, right, can you take it all night?
You held me back when I tried to move on from your life. So you stole my life by clarity. So hold me back, now you're here. Cause I'm mad, show no fear. Wanna let you know just how it felt. Oh no, 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 no. Don't you think we could? There's a way we could be. No, oh no, 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 no. I know the way you look at me, I know it too well. Now I'm bulletproof, you're my fire, you got